multitude, actually. Those features mainly we can just dictate them one by one, but it is not restricted to. This is the first view to what are the features that this jQuery can afford to the web developers. Actually, it can give them, or can give actually the users of this jQuery a handy tool to manipulate the objects over a web interface, rendered content. We talk about the DOM or the HTML. It can give us actually, or give them also an access to the CSS, the manipulation of the styling, yes, from the Java, let's say, based solutions. It can actually integrate triggers and event handlers over the HTML interfaces. Event handlers means actually fires to events, controllers of buttons, clicks, the movement of mouse, and so on. Event handlers. We define what is an event handler. Unit number 1, we define the ASPX technology. And mainly the very famous activity, which is the animation. Here we talk about interactivity. The animation means the effects to be added to the interface, the fade in, the shadows, the appearances, the positioning, the movement, and so on. And this jQuery as a feature, it is built on the JavaScript, yes, but as a feature, it has the capability to interact with the Ajax. So solutions built using the Ajax can have a channel to communicate with solutions built using the jQuery, or to enhance the solutions built using the Ajax using the jQuery. So here actually the Ajax, it is not deprived from being more effective by adding animations or by controlling the events from within the Ajax solutions using the jQuery. I hope that's clear what I just said right now. Utilities, and as a per example of utilities, the input validation of the fields, submission of forms, and so other many functionalities that are considered to be utilities from within a web solution. So the jQuery can enhance and support such a functionality. We continue now with the specificities of this jQuery. The jQuery is a portable programming language. Means actually it can run from a computer to another. If you just make a copy paste, it would be actually effective and working. The jQuery, since it is portable, so it's a conclusion. It's a consequence. It's a multi-platform. It's a cross-platform compatible solution. There is no restriction to a specific browser. No, it is cross-platform solution compatible. And since we talk about the JavaScript, I may ask you a question in one of the exams actually. Since it is actually on top of the JavaScript, not Java. Since it is on top of the use of the JavaScript. So, can you find the jQuery running on the server side to control the access, for example, the input data to database to check the username and password fields on the server side? The answer is false. Why? Because it is JavaScript. Since it is JavaScript, so it is a client side, it's not server side. And the client side, we talk about the browsers. So all the browsers, they are capable to understand and to interpret what jQuery solutions are. and it is actually giving birth to much more easier event handlers across the HTML solutions and the HTML interfaces. Yes, event handlers. The event handlers, we talk about the event, the causes of actions, triggers. Yeah. It can work perfectly with the Ajax solutions. If you have actually a web solution or interface with Ajax integrated, the enhancement of the Ajax workflow can be done using the jQuery. It is for sure, without any doubt. Whatever the examples of the jQuery users, but the effects, example of effects that the jQuery can give birth. Fade in, fade out. Actually, it can control menus. It can add a very tremendous and attractive drop-down menus in the sense of how it gets opened, how it gets actually closed, and so on. Sort of animation. Now, regarding the added value of what this jQuery can give to a design interface, the jQuery will not be used to build a web solution. The jQuery will not be used to build a web solution. Remember, it is an added value. The jQuery, it's an integrated extra added feature. It's another technology to enhance the work on top of a designed web solution. The integrated solutions using the jQuery, it is small in size, and memory means it will not take much size, and specifically since we said that it is a library that enhances JavaScript methodologies, functions, and procedures. So we will only need to call the method which is not available. What does it mean? It means the jQuery library will define the work of the JavaScript method, and at the client side we call only. So it's a consequence. Actually, it would not take much more size in the context of the memory space. So it is relatively small when you compare to other solutions. Friendly actually to all developers. What does it mean? It means actually any developer that thinks to use the jQuery to enhance the work of his, let's say, design solution, would he think about using the jQuery? Absolutely, yes, true. jQuery, it would be actually a first choice to enhance the work. Enhancement in matter of ease of use and design. Ease of use and design. This is the context. What does it mean friendly? Friendly. It's not some friendly. We talk about technology. What does it mean friendly? Nothing. It's an added value. It's an enhancement. That's the context. Enhancement in the context of design and animation. Yeah, it is not new, and it is 100% enhanced and utilized over professional applications. We can see it on the web. It is actually built by a large developer community. Means it's not designed by one developer. The jQuery, who said the jQuery library, who created the jQuery library? Is it one person? No, it's a large developing community. Means large number of developers, they sat and they created this jQuery library. And since it is actually work on the client side. Actually, it has capability to create plugins and add-ons and to enhance also the integration of plugins and add-ons into onto the browsers on top of the use of the jQuery only to add certain effects and certain features to a given web page or to a given list of web pages. So now, okay, this is the technology, and this is what this jQuery mean, the definition, the features, and the advantages. How to get this jQuery in action, how to put it actually onto a web solution, how to integrate it, how to use it. Simply, the jQuery, first of all, is JavaScript, so you have to think of adding a script tag on an HTML page. Simple. Yes, it's true, since it's JavaScript. So clearly said, the content to be added, it is JavaScript. The jQuery content is a JavaScript. Yes, it's a JavaScript library. So we will add JavaScript on it. So it's a script tag to be added onto the location whenever you need onto your web solution. The web solution in our case here is the ASPX page. So ASPX pages in plural. Yeah, so just when we compare the use of the jQuery, actually, whenever we just integrate the script tags that they actually define the jQuery, the work would be actually much more faster than ever when we talk about the same solution without integration of the jQuery. Great. So this is another added value. Yet you have to remember that you have to integrate the full library. You have to integrate the full library in order to get this let's say consequence being faster than a solution which is not actually integrating the jQuery in terms of time. You have to integrate. Remember that you have to integrate the jQuery library fully into your solution in order to be able to integrate the jQuery solutions or the jQuery functionalities to add the added value of the jQuery onto your solution, onto your designed solution. So the jQuery, it's a domain that you just have to refer to. The domain is the jQuery.com. If you just refer to this jQuery.com interface, you'll find just a simple script. It's a JavaScript list of long code. Fully is JavaScript. Yeah, and this code is a list of functions. You just have to call the function by name, and the functionality will be available for you. Simple. It's an integration, it's an include, it's a requirement that you just integrate into your designed web solution. By adding such library, remember, now I was presenting this here, this getting the way of to get this jQuery reverse. In the reverse mode, I said that it is to add an effect, which is to make the developers and the users gain time whenever they serve web solutions. But I came back and I said that remember that you have to add the full library. The full library, does it have only the functions you need to use onto your own web solution? No. It has hundreds of functions available, whether you need them or you don't. In all cases, you have to integrate the full library onto your web solution. So this way, this is a drawback. This is a disadvantage because I do not need, or the developers do not need the full solution to be available on their framework, on their design web solution. No, they need only some functionality, but they have to integrate the full jQuery library. You may actually just refer to the domain, or you download it fully. onto your local directory and use it. So the jQuery library, whether you just linked with a link to your domain and you use it lifetime www.jQuery.com, or you download the library and you use it as a file in your local, let's say, workspace. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the implementation. We were talking about how to add jQuery. Yes, great. So just integrate the library. This is the way. If you download it, so it's a script tag to be added at the head section, no more, no less. Or this is when you download it, or you just call it in lifetime. You just call it through the web. Let's say the web solution, something like that. So you have to find the path and you just use it. You can use it from live the web reference, or you can download it in your local workspace. All is possible. Yeah, and then after integrating the library, you just have to integrate the function you call, not integrate. You call the functions you need. So this is an example of a jQuery method, which is to check that everything is being downloaded and uploaded. Everything is being set and working fine onto your web solution. What does it mean? It means actually it is checking this ready. It is checking if the web page has been loaded onto the client, the browser, or not. Everything is ready. Yeah, that's it. So to check that the page has been loaded, jQuery gives this function to be utilized. Ready. Once yes validated, all what you specify here would be executed. So in our cases here, just you know that this is now a definition of this ready, but what you have to know more is that a script tag has to specify the work of the jQuery. So here we have a start and script tag, and here we have the close and script tag. So it's JavaScript, full stop. Yeah, the explanation of what does this really do, and exactly the explanation of those two interfaces. Yeah. I come back to the same example here. We said that the ready here, we defined that this ready here, it will check what actually, if the web page has been the web page, I repeat, if the web page where this script tag is defined, if the full page has been loaded. How I knew that it is the full page? Because of this document. It is talking about the document ready, document.ready. And what is a document? It is an object referred using the jQuery. How I knew? Because of this $. The $, specifies that I'm calling a jQuery method, which is this ready, and this method is implemented on top of this object, which is the document. So the document, is it ready? If yes, this would be run. You display a message. You close the, I don't know, you load another object, you load another interface, whatever you want to do, you can do it here. So $ to indicate that this is jQuery, and the jQuery method called is this ready here, this example, and this ready is executed on top of this object, document, in this example also. Yeah, so we have here other examples. See here, we are calling a method called hide. To hide, literally said, to hide something. And the first example, to hide this. What is this? It is in jQuery only because of the $. And the method is hide. To hide what? Literally said. To hide the current element. What is the current element? Where this tag is. If it is in the head section, so the full page will be hidden. If it is in a div tag, the div tag will be hidden. If it is in a button, the button will be hidden. If it is in an image, the image would be hidden. The object, the current element. The second example, the hide will hide all the P, the paragraphs, HTML, P, the paragraphs, the HTML tags P, the P element. And this example here, all the classes, this is CSS, see the dot test, test is user defined, test, any word, user defined. But the dot, nokta, the dot, it specifies a class in CSS. We were talking about the features of the jQuery that can control CSS components. The last example, the same hide, it would hide what? The IDs, the ID, every object with an ID, name it test. The hash here, it's a CSS also, but it hides all the objects with the ID that equals test. CSS here, not, sorry, the dot, it is an indicator of a class. The hash, it is an indicator of an ID. Yeah, and the example of the hide is not the unique because actually it's a very simple example. You just record a method. That's it. It would have the effect, but this method would not run. This method would not run. Any hide, it would not run if you did not integrate the library. If you did not integrate the library, the jQuery library. If you did not call the library, specify what is the library, the jQuery library, those methods would not run. With a hide or any other. Yeah, so here remember that the objects you are going to implement the jQuery on top of which you have to put them in between two parentheses and you precede them with a dollar. Between parentheses and you precede them with a dollar. Those are the objects that the jQuery function will be implemented on top of which, and those are named selectors. Those are named selectors. Selectors, as per the examples we saw earlier, they might be tags like the P. They might be current objects like when we use the this. They might be components referred to by CSS or using the CSS, classes or IDs. Classes or IDs. Yeah, this is actually a coherent example. Here's a coherent example using the jQuery. The current document, once it is ready, yes, has been loaded, means any click on the button, any object, any HTML tag, button, it means the button. If any clicks happens on any button, all the paragraphs will be hidden. See, the document, it's a function. Ready, we check if it's ready or not, we start. Inside, we have this block to execute. Here, this is the block. What is this block? It's another method. We check if any clicks happens on any button. Any click happens on any button. So it's another function. What to happen? We execute this block. What is this block? To hide all the paragraphs. To hide all the paragraphs. jQuery $. So selectors, they are between parentheses. Any questions, please? Any questions, please, at this level? Okay, I'm going to take the attendance. So I'll stop the record and I'll take the attendance. Give me a second.